Have you ever worked so hard for something, pushed through every obstacle, and finally achieved it, only to find yourself doing something to completely destroy it? Maybe you missed a critical deadline on a project you were acing. Maybe you picked an unnecessary fight with a partner you love. Or maybe you made a stupid mistake that just happened to blow everything up. And in the aftermath, as you're sitting in the rubble, you ask yourself that haunting question: why do I always do this to myself? If that sounds familiar, I want you to know you're not broken and you're not alone. What you're experiencing is a predictable, deeply ingrained pattern called the self-sabotage cycle. And today we're going to break it down, understand it, and most importantly, learn how to stop it before it strikes again. The answer lies in a three-stage process I call Imposter, Shadow, and STOOP. Understanding this is the key that unlocks everything. Let's start with the first trigger, stage 1, the imposter phase. This is where it all begins. You've just landed the big promotion, your business is finally taking off, or you've entered a healthy, loving relationship. But instead of feeling joy and celebration, a wave of anxiety washes over you. Thoughts start creeping in. I'm a fraud. I don't actually deserve this. Any minute now, someone's going to find me out. This isn't just you being humble. This is your psyche screaming that there's a dangerous mismatch between your current reality, success, and your deeply held, often unconscious, identity. To your inner world, this success feels foreign, unfamiliar, and therefore threatening. This feeling of being an imposter isn't just a quirky personality trait. It's the blinking red warning light on your dashboard, signaling that the self-sabotage engine is about to roar to life. But why would success feel like danger? This leads us to the core of the problem, which is rooted in what I call the shadow. Your shadow is the part of your psyche that holds all your unconscious beliefs, fears, and unprocessed experiences, many of which were formed in childhood. For many of us, the shadow learned some very powerful, very wrong lessons early on. For example, maybe as a child when you succeeded at something, it led to jealousy from a sibling, or a parent became distant, or you were attacked for showing off. Your young mind might have coded a powerful equation: success equals jealousy, abandonment, or attack. On the flip side, maybe when you failed or struggled, you received comfort, attention, and connection. So your brain learned another equation: failure equals safety, belonging, and love. These beliefs aren't conscious thoughts. They are hardwired into your nervous system. So when you, as an adult, achieve a major success, it doesn't just feel good. It triggers a genuine threat response. Your nervous system literally believes it's in danger, and its only job is to get you back to the familiar, safe territory of struggle and failure. This internal alarm brings us to stage 2, the shadow phase. Once your shadow believes you're in danger because of your success, it activates its defense mechanisms to protect you. This is a completely unconscious process. It doesn't announce itself. Instead, it works through subtle and insidious tactics. Suddenly, you start having powerful rationalizations. Thoughts like, you know what? This job isn't really what I wanted anyway. I'm not ready for this level of responsibility. Or maybe it manufactures distractions. A sudden, urgent need to declutter your entire house the night before a huge presentation. A minor disagreement with a friend blows up into a week-long drama. Your anxiety gets amplified, making it impossible to focus. This is the saboteur archetype coming online. And here's the crucial part. Your shadow genuinely believes it is helping you. It's not trying to ruin your life. It's trying to save you from what it perceives as the very real danger of success. It's deploying its best-known strategies: procrastination, distraction, anxiety, to pull you back from the cliff's edge of achievement. You just feel confused, overwhelmed, and unable to move forward, not realizing you're being manipulated from within. This internal pressure builds and builds until it has to be released. And that leads us to stage 3, the STOOP. The STOOP is the destructive act itself. It's the visible, tangible behavior that sabotages your success. This is when you finally act on the anxiety and internal chaos created by the shadow. The STOOP can take countless forms. It can be procrastinating on a project until it's too late to succeed. It can be starting drama in your relationship right when things are getting serious and wonderful. It could be self-medicating with food, shopping, or other substances to numb the anxiety of performing well. It might be perfectionism paralysis, where you're so afraid of not doing it perfectly that you don't do it at all. Sometimes it's a manufactured crisis, a sudden illness, or an impulsive decision to just quit. And often it's those baffling, accidental mistakes, like deleting the wrong file or saying the exact wrong thing in a crucial meeting. That's the stoop. It's the final destructive release of all that built-up tension. And then comes the strangest part of the entire cycle. After the bomb goes off, after you've ruined the good thing, you feel a weird sense of relief. The crushing anxiety that was hounding you is suddenly gone. Why? Because you're no longer in the dangerous territory of success. You are back in the familiar, predictable world of struggle. It might be painful, but it's a pain your nervous system knows and understands. This feeling of relief is the most powerful reinforcer of the entire cycle. Your brain learns a simple, devastating lesson. Self-sabotage leads to relief from anxiety. This relief, however, is quickly followed by the final, toxic ingredient that locks the cycle in place: shame. You look at the mess you've made, and the familiar thoughts come back, stronger than ever. I always ruin everything. I'm just not cut out for success. I'm a failure. This crushing shame doesn't just feel bad. It actively strengthens your imposter identity. It provides proof for the belief that you are, in fact, a fraud who doesn't deserve good things. And so the cycle becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The imposter phase triggers the shadow, which leads to the stoop, which results in shame, which creates an even stronger imposter identity for the next time, and on it goes. So how do we get off this horrible merry-go-round? The answer is not to beat yourself up. The answer is awareness and interruption. You have to learn to recognize which stage of the cycle you're in and intervene before it gets to the next one. Let's say you've just gotten a great piece of news, but you feel that familiar dread. That's the imposter stage. The key here is to name it. Say it out loud to yourself or to a trusted friend. This is my imposter syndrome talking. This is a feeling, not a fact. This anxiety is an old pattern, not a reflection of reality. By naming it, you create distance between yourself and the feeling. You observe it instead of becoming it. Now let's say you miss that window and you find yourself rationalizing, getting distracted, or feeling intensely anxious. You're in the shadow stage. Here your job is to catch the saboteur in the act. When you hear yourself thinking, "I'm not ready for this," ask yourself, is that really true? Or is my shadow trying to protect me from a phantom threat? Reach out to someone for perspective. A friend, a mentor, a therapist. Just explaining your thought process out loud can often expose how illogical the rationalizations are. But what if you're right on the edge of the stoop? You feel that overwhelming urge to quit, to pick the fight, to procrastinate. This is the hardest point to intervene, but it's the most critical. The strategy here is the sacred pause. Make a rule for yourself. You will not act on this impulse for 24 to 48 hours. The urge to sabotage feels incredibly urgent, like you must do it right now. You don't. Give yourself space. Your only job during that pause is to feel the anxiety. Don't act on it. Don't numb it. Just sit with the discomfort. It will be intense, but it will pass. And in that space you create, you give yourself the power to choose a different action, to send the email, to have a calm conversation, to do the work. Breaking this cycle isn't easy. It's a practice. But every time you successfully recognize and interrupt the pattern, you weaken its hold on you. The self-sabotage cycle isn't proof that you're broken or unworthy. It's actually proof that at some point in your life, success felt dangerous, and a part of you is still working very hard to protect you from that old, outdated threat. With awareness, compassion, and practice, you can teach that part of you that it's safe now. You are safe to succeed. You deserve everything you've worked for. This cycle can be broken. Thanks for watching today. If this resonated with you, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more content on how to understand and master your own psychology. Let me know in the comments which stage of the cycle you recognize most in yourself. You're not alone in this.